Welcome. This is the Arts Commission of Thousand Oaks. This is our monthly board meeting. This is a special meeting, and I would like to call this meeting to order. Please join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Please begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have the roll call, please?
Chair Angelini.
Here.
Commissioner Banks.
Here.
Commissioner Cole.
Here.
Commissioner Durachian, absent. Commissioner DiDonato.
Here.
Commissioner Irwin, absent. Commissioner Fishman, absent. Commissioner Hamilton.
Here.
Commissioner Linsalata.
Here.
Commissioner Matthias.
Thank you. First, we have public comments, but we're going to hold those comments until the agenda item. So we now would like to open the public hearing.
Hearing, advertised as required by law, is open to consider Arts Commission Agenda Item 5A regarding a public art donation from Edward Grip of a bronze sculpture. The sculpture is a bust of Mr. Fred Cavalli, and it was by artist Roxanne Skeen. A speaker card is available for those wishing to address the Arts Commission regarding the public hearing. All documents for the Arts Commission and official city records should be presented to the staff person. Speakers are requested to state your name and city of residence for the record. 2 people have presented speaker cards.
Thank you. I have 2 speaker cards, and so I believe that first we'll hear from Ed Grip, and then we will hear from Roxanne Skeen. Welcome.
Thank you very much. My name is Ed Grip, and
Is the microphone on?
Got it? Okay, my name is Ed Grip, and I'm a landscape architect, and I've had the pleasure of working for Mr. Cavalli as a client, having Mr. Cavalli as a client for the last 10 or 12 years. And over that period of time, I've become aware of his generosity, particularly the Performing Arts Center and the many youth groups throughout Ventura County. And I learned recently at a dedication to one of his buildings where he contributed the Boys and Girls Club of Oxnard that his generosity spreads from his homeland in Norway to China, which is kind of amazing, amazing for a man of his caliber. He's a very smart man. He's very acute in engineering and so on, and he developed a company. And he made a lot of money, but he spends half his time giving the money back to more or less like philanthropists in the past, like Andrew Carnegie. And I thought it would be nice to, several years ago, to have my daughter, who's a sculptor, do a bust of him for the Performing Arts Center. It'd be a way to recognize his generosity in Ventura and Santa Barbara counties and throughout the whole world, actually. So with that, I'll talk a little bit about Roxanne, my daughter. I've known her all her life. This would embarrass her. Their first art thing was finger painting on the wall when she was about a year old or less. But as she got to be older, about 3 or 4 years old, she beyond that time, she always wanted to be an artist. And we used to call it Roxanne's Makins. Roxanne went on to Santa Monica High School, where they had a tremendous art program. Mrs. Allman there, I believe her name was. She prepared Roxanne so that she entered Art Center as the youngest student at Art Center when she entered. She finished Art Center in 3 years and became an illustrator. And then she got married, and she called to me one day with tears in her eyes, said, "Dad, I just can't make these publication dates and be a good mom." I told her, I said, being a mom is the most important job in the world. So she dedicated herself to being a good mom, and now she has 2 artists that are just as good as she is. And they are, one of them is a graphic artist for an upstart clothing firm, And so I think it was time well spent. When she could finally get back to artwork, she wanted to do fine art. So for the last few years, she's been doing sculpture, and she's a member of the California Art Club. And her latest thing was in Thousand Oaks here is the Dos Ventos Shopping Center. And I don't know if you've been there yet, but it just won an award for, the architects did, for Outstanding Shopping Center. The unique thing about that shopping center is that the developers weren't interested in how much money it cost them. They were more interested in giving back to the community. So it was a dream project, and they hired Roxanne to do all the artwork. She did all the ceramic murals and the bronze sculpture for this shopping center. Then John Ennis, another landscape architect who's a very good friend of mine, actually works part-time for the city. He did the landscape architecture. He did a tremendous job on it, and of course the architecture is outstanding. So if you haven't seen the Dos Ventos Shopping Center, I hope anyone in Thousand Oaks does go there because they'll really enjoy it. It's something we're seeing. So with that, I think I'll introduce my daughter here, and she can say a couple words.
Thank you. Roxanne Skeen.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank all of you for allowing us this time to present the sculpture to you, and also for donating your time. It's always really great to meet people who are art enthusiasts. And I have always, like my dad told you, always enjoyed art from the time I was a little girl, and never stopped doing it. And I always say that my children were my greatest creations. I truly enjoyed raising 3 boys, but now I'm really nonstop doing art, and particularly bronze sculpture. And it was my kids that got me started in sculpting. I wanted to capture my kids as they were growing, and that's kind of how I started out doing sculpture. I'm particularly proud of the Dos Vientos project. It is in Newbury Park, actually. It was a wonderful opportunity, and it's the Miller Family Company. That's the group that did the shopping center. And it's not on my website yet, but it's coming soon, so I hope you'll get an opportunity to just go to roxanneskeen.com, and probably in about a couple of weeks or so I should have photos of that shopping center on my website as well. I had a wonderful opportunity and a wonderful time meeting Fred Cavalli. He's a gentle, sweet man, and with a great, quiet sense of humor. He was just a lovely man, and he was donated his time to sit for me so I could take photos and get to know him. And then I brought the sculpture back, and everybody in the office immediately recognized him, and they were thrilled with the sculptures. And it was just a really wonderful opportunity just to be able to get to know him a little, and to do this portrait piece. So I'm really pleased to share it with you tonight, and I hope you like it. So if you want to scan over to the piece, if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you.
I do. Roxanne, yes. First of all, obviously, the city of Thousand Oaks owes Mr. Cavalli a deep debt of gratitude for what he has done for the Civic Arts Plaza. He has, in turn, been allowed to have his name on the building, and we're as proud of it as you are. Mm-hmm. I am curious about something, however, and that is that I believe he's a resident of the city of Moore Park now?
No, he's a resident of Santa Barbara.
Oh, of Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Right. Well, he has another building with his name on it at Moore Park College, and I'm wondering what brought it to the Cavalli Theater, other than his name is here, rather than the Cavalli Science Center at Moore Park College, which would seem to be possibly more prestigious for a bust. I have a difficult time separating out artwork from what is monuments, whether they be portrait paintings or busts, or if it's Beethoven or what have you, for some particular reason. I mean, both are artistic endeavors. Mm-hmm. But in the city of Thousand Oaks, we have an extensive collection now, and it isn't shown, so I don't know where this would be shown, etc. I don't know where. Obviously, the theater is one of the parts of it, but I have some questions about it as to why you selected this rather than Moore Park.
I never knew there was anything in Moore Park.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
okay.
guess I guess that's our answer. At the time that I did the sculpture, it was close to the time that he had donated the money to the Civic Auditorium, and I was very taken by by the story of how he came and rescued. It's such a great cultural center and a beautiful gift to the community, and we were just glad that he stepped to the plate. And so I think that's why we came up with this location.
Thank you. Do you have anybody else questions? Okay. Yeah.
Where do you propose the sculpture to go? Would it be, it's an indoor sculpture in the lobby or in the Cavalli somewhere? Or what do you have any ideas about that?
Well, I'm going to have my dad answer that.
We were going to leave that up to you.
I don't think it really matters.
And
I think
we're
it could
willing
go
to
either place.
provide, a pedestal for it or whatever. But it seemed like this was I didn't know about Moore Park, that he had a building there too. That's amazing too. I think he also has an institute in China. I could send it to China probably. But I'm a resident of Thousand Oaks, and I thought that this would be something that would be a way for the city of Thousand Oaks to recognize the generous gift that Mr. Cavalli has done just for not only for Thousand Oaks, but for all of Ventura County and actually the world. So, I mean, it's entirely, of course, up to the city to whether they want Mr. Cavalli's sculpture in there. But and I was offered one time to put it at Cal Lutheran by the former president of the university there. But I didn't know that he had donated anything to Moore Park, and so maybe that is an appropriate place to have it since he's a scientist. And I'll ask my granddaughter to ask if they would like it over there, if the city of Thousand Oaks isn't interested in it. Otherwise, it's going to go to Mr. Cavalli. Yep.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay, then let's discuss.
All right.
Comments? Yes, Suzanne, Commissioner Banks.
I think that it would probably be very apropos to have it in the lobby of the Cavalli Theater, since he donated the funds for it. And it's a very nice sculpture, and I think it would be ideal for the lobby of the Cavalli.
Thank you. Commissioner Mathias.
I think either on any of the floors would be nice, not just the lobby. I mean, when you come in, of course, seeing him at the lobby and seeing the face to the name, because a lot of people don't know who he is or what he's done. But, if we do accept it, we could, I think, move it around to the second floor or the third floor and back down to the lobby. I don't think it has to be just at the lobby. And, I think it's good to put a face on a name of its namesake.
Okay, Commissioner Chiat-Cole.
The only thing that I believe is, we're starting a precedent where there's a lot of people that have donated tremendous amount of money to this theater and to this building. And if we allow his sculpture to come in, why not allow everybody else that's been big benefactors to the Cavalli and to the whole building to put one up? And it's starting like a chain of events that could really backfire on us. So it's really a thought about that.
Any other comments? I like to be, it's really great to be chair because then I can go last, but I'm sure someone will want to come after me. I think it would, if we accepted it, would be a moving piece. We're accepting it on its merits as a piece of art. We're not accepting it on its merits, and I don't, I would have a problem condemning it because it's the bust of somebody who's given us money. I would think it would be great to have it because it's a really interesting piece. And when I look at it, it makes me happy as a piece of art. Knowing also that it's Mr. Cavalli who did come around at a time when we really needed him, I appreciate him and I would want to have it here. And wherever it floated throughout the city, I think we're accepting it on so many levels, which is why it becomes complicated, because we're accepting it as just a piece of art. We're accepting it as a city piece of art, but we're also accepting it in a theater for which his name is on it. Personally, I think it would be a shame to pass it up. I would love to have it, and I think it would be an honor to have it. And I think that it would be a shame to condemn the art just because it's a bust of somebody who gave us money. And I do appreciate your comment, Juliet, that it's opening a door, but I don't see a lot of other things coming through here for people who have given us money. And I think we have to, as the Arts Commission, we have to accept or recommend to City Council to accept these based on the worthiness of the piece of art and not the politics of it or anything else. And I'm sure City Council will have some comments on that too. So that's what I have to say, Commissioner Hamilton.
I'd like to ask you, because you're unaware of the one at, both of you, unaware of the science building at Moore Park, if you might want to consider that ahead of us.
Well, I don't know. It's entirely up to the people. This is the first place I thought about where it should go, and I haven't even approached them or approached that idea of doing that. As a matter of fact, I could have a second one cast from Moore Park.
Oh, well, that's a different story.
That's no problem at all.
Possibly it can go in both places.
And so I really think it should be a place where we have the arts. It's a piece of artwork that I think should be in an art place. And, you know, I might make this suggestion. Maybe if people would donate $100,000 to the Performing Arts Center, maybe you ought to finance a cast, hire an artist to do a sculpture for them, and maybe you get more people donating $100,000 to the Art Center. I mean, you know, that's the other side of it.
I think that Dorothy Chandler, too, if you go down there, you will see busts of people at that theater. So it's kind of apropos in a way for there to be, you know, in the lobby bust of people who
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with that idea? You know, it's a pretty good idea.
I think it's actually a great idea, and
commercializing it, but
brings more culture and,
Yeah.
and the arts to your theater. That's what the theater is about, the arts.
I would
That's
say
right.
it certainly bears consideration by the Arts Commission to pursue that type of a thing, whether it be in bus or portraiture. I happened to just come back from Croatia, and in Zagreb there is or I think it was in Slovenia, is a cultural center, and the posts, each one is a bust of a famous composer, writer, poet, etc. I have no objection to that, and the discussion here is going to have to be with, as it is a piece of art, and I will congratulate you on your background, being an artist and knowing the schools, etc. It's prestigious to say the least. So it's not a minor piece of art by any stretch of the imagination, or just a monument. It means something more.
It is a beautiful piece, and if I don't have any more comments, I would like to take a vote. Okay?
Are you going to make a motion?
Oh. Will somebody please make a motion? Commissioner Donato.
I make a motion that we accept it on behalf of the city for the Cavalli Theater.
You're going to make a motion that you recommend to City Council to accept the donation.
Yes.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Thank you. May we please vote? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Commissioner Hamilton abstains. Thank you. Okay, it passes to recommend it to City Council. I would like to say thank you. I think it's a really fun piece. It is beautiful. I know there's going to be a few political questions about it, but that's what we're here for. And I also spoke to somebody else today at another nonprofit organization who said if we turned it down, they'd love to have it because then maybe he'll pay attention to them and they could ask him for a donation. So you may be onto something, and I'm sure it's not new. And at the Kennedy Center, there was a bust of President Kennedy. Now he was the president, but it is the Kennedy Center. So I think it's a lovely piece just as art alone. So thank you so much for a very generous donation. And we may have to come back to you and talk about the pedestal because this has been something that it's an additional thing, but I don't know. And but at this point, thank you very much. And your generosity is really wonderful. And anybody else? I am moving on to project reports. The first project report is the Healing Power of Music. However, Commissioner Darajian couldn't be here today. She did not give us a report to read. The Healing Power of Music is people performing in places where elderly people or people who are not well cannot go out and see theater or performing arts. And so Commissioner Darajian brings in amazing, world-renowned performers to perform in places around Thousand Oaks. So I would like to just put out my thanks to her and remind us all of what that program is because it's a really wonderful program. So we're going to move on to the Fred Cavalli Theater Visual Arts Committee. And first we're going to hear from Commissioner Matthias.
Thank you. The current show at the Cavalli Gallery is called Art of Its Own. And we have three wonderful artists, Anne Krasner, Pacios, and Alexander. And the art reception is Sunday, March 22nd from 3:30 to 5:30. And I'm going to pass it to Commissioner Hamilton to tell you more about the artists.
Commissioner Hamilton.
You know, one of the artists has been before us, or a part of his sculptures, which are going to be a part of this new show, came in, and the city has accepted them. And that is Alexander. He has no last name, just a first name. One of the first pieces I saw of his, if you go over to the Oaks Christian Church or Oaks Christian High School, and as you drive in the driveway, you'll see a very large thing. It looks like an Easter egg with a cross in the middle. That was his first piece in the Thousand Oaks Caneo area. He has 5 pieces that is coming in here to the city of Thousand Oaks. And in this particular hanging, he is bringing in 24 paintings, which is a new area for him. And he was kind of interested in when somebody coined the expression that it is post-contemporary. Contemporary meaning you're still alive. I don't know where the post comes from. And he has gone in on a quasi mark in his paintings. He's an abstract painter. And this is kind of a cross, as you look at it, look for the idea that it is a cross between an exclamation point and a question mark. You'll see this in the painting. You also find sculptures, small sculptures, attached to all of his paintings. They're all 24 by 36. As I said, Mr. Alexander is an internationally known artist. These pieces that are coming in here came up from Australia to be in Thousand Oaks. So we're pleased to have him in it. And he will have an unveiling just prior to our reception on March 22nd.
An unveiling of?
The sculptures that will be in the Civic Arts Plaza lawn.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Chiat-Call.
Okay. We have the next artist. Her name is Anne Krasner. She was born in Russia, lives out in Malibu, and this is some of her books that she's put out. They're exceptional pieces. They're very contemporary in ways and very whimsical, and the colors are magnificent. I mean, we have them all in the first floor and the orchestra level, and it just makes the whole place shine up. And the reception, and like we talked about, is going to be on Sunday the 22nd from 3:30 to 5:30, and we would love for you to come and see all the work here. It's gorgeous. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Matthias will close this off. Oh,
There is also one other artist, Edward Pacios. He's a sculptor and beautiful stonework. He was once in the film industry and is now an artist and beautiful, beautiful work. But also I wanted to add that the unveiling of the Alexander will be in the Mary and Richard Carpenter Plaza Park, which is just in the front of the Civics Art Plaza at 3 o'clock. Do you want me to do that now or later? Oh, okay. Oh, and well, let me do it later.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next up is the Open Studio Tour. Are you ready for that?
I'm ready for that. The Open Studio Tour, this will be our 4th year, I believe, since I've been a commissioner to do the Open Studio Tour. And this year it will be on May 16th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And registration and studio maps will be here at the Cavalli Theater from 10 to 12. Continental breakfast will be served. And also at that time, there'll be the artwork hanging throughout the gallery of the studio tour participants.
Tell us what the Open Studio Tour is.
Oh. The Open Studio Tour is a community-wide event designed to increase the appreciation and enjoyment of the visual arts in the Conejo Valley. The tour showcases many talented visual artists in the greater Conejo Valley, and maps will be available to the general public for free. It is a self-guided tour to the artist's studio. And the artists, when they sell any art, keep 100% profit, which when you sell at a gallery, the gallery usually keeps a percentage. There will be a reception. We don't know the time yet, so any information for artists out there or people who are interested, call Stacy Park at 449-2767. And also, I wanted to add on another tour that the Art Council of Conejo Valley is doing on March 22nd after or kind of in between and after our reception here from 4 to 7. They're sponsoring an art bus tour, which will feature a double-decker bus. And they are going to be driving to various art venues here in the community. First stop will be the Thousand Oaks Community Gallery, where Westlake Village Art Guild is sponsoring the Open Juried show. And it's a huge show. A lot of money given at that for awards at that show. And then they'll be coming back here to the Cavalli and to see Art of Its Own. And then their final stop is up at the Hillcrest Center. And they have Common Threads, which is a fiber show that's being exhibited right now up there. And they're going to have belly dancing up there, and there'll be food and drink at all the venues, non-alcoholic as well, and it should be good. And then if you're interested in the Art Bus Tour, call the Hillcrest Center for the Arts at 381-2747. There you go.
Well done. Thank you. So you've heard about music. The healing power of music. You've heard a lot about visual arts, but we're not just limited to those. Next up is the Teen Video Festival and Commissioner Linsalata.
Thank you, Stephanie. Teen Video Festival is back for its 11th annual Conejo Teen Video Festival. It's open to all teenagers in the Conejo Valley and the area surrounding. We've had entries from West Hills, Malibu, Oxnard, Ventura even, and the requirements are only that you be between the ages of 12 and 19 when the film was done and completed. All the work is being done on the film is done by the teenager and their buddies. Limited parent participation is a requirement. We are accepting films for Best Documentary, or we will be giving awards, for the Best Documentary, Best Music Video, Best Screenplay, Best Animation, Best Cinematography, Best Technical Achievement, Best Actor, Most Original Video, and the Best Video by someone under 15 years of age, and Best Video of the festival itself. The screening of these films will be on June 22nd at the Shira Forum. It's usually been a very outstanding night where all the participants come and bring their parents, and everyone gets to see the films. The week prior, on June 13th and 14th, we'll have a screening of all of the nominated films. The films that we nominate through the pre-screening go to a collection of judges from Hollywood, professional directors, producers, and assistant directors, and writers that will basically be doing the judging on the films. If you need more information, within a week we'll have the entry form on our website, and the website is CaneoTeenVideoFestival.org. You can also call Pete Martinez at the Thousand Oaks Community Center for more information. His number is 805-381-2793. That's about all I have right now, and I hope to see you all on the 22nd. By the way, the deadline for submission of your films is Friday, May 30th. It's a week after Labor Day, or after Memorial Day, fortunately. So you get the 3-day weekend to work on your film and finish it. So the deadline for entries is Friday, May 30th. There is a $15 entry fee for Thousand Oaks residents, $20 entry fee for non-Thousand Oaks residents. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Linsalata. And I encourage everyone to go see the Teen Video Festival. It is amazing. The kids are gifted and brilliant. My son, we went to watch all of his tapes when he was a little child and realized that I had taken none of them, that literally from the time he was 3, all of his little baby tapes were him setting up the camera on a tripod and taping himself. So children today are born with cameras in their hands, and they're pretty gifted and wonderful. So while he won't be entering the festival, I do think that kids today are really wonderful, and it's always very inspirational for me to go. So thank you for that. Look forward for the open studio tour where you get to see the artists in their natural environment, and they always host you very well, and it's very fun to go to their homes or their studios and see their art and see where they work. Our reception coming up and the show on March 22nd, that show will actually open on January 16th. So from January 16th to April 27th, we will have the work of 3 world-renowned, amazing international artists hanging here in the Cavalli Theater in the lobby on several floors. And so I encourage you all to take advantage of the arts in the city of Thousand Oaks. And now I'd like to ask for any commissioner comments. Commissioner Chiat-Call.
If anybody would like to come and see the art at the theater when it's closed, you got to call Stacy Munition's office at 449-2767 and to arrange for a private tour, because the theater's closed, you can't come in. So it's a good way of coming in and really enjoying it while nobody's here. So,
thank you. Thanks for reminding us. Any other commissioner comments? We're a silent and quiet arts commission tonight. Tune in next month when we're all going to be wearing funny hats and singing songs. Okay, on that note, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move for adjournment.
Thank you. I would like to adjourn this meeting, and thank you all. And thank you very much for your donation. Good night.